All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Jaron Ennis and Gervonta Davis fight card, January 7th. Big news. It is official. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about a pay-per-view that is going to be on January 7th, and Jaron Ennis will be co-headlining the event with Gervonta Tank Davis, and his opponent has been confirmed. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, like my guy, I'm just here for the boxing. New moderator on the channel, big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for your support. This video is dedicated to you. And everybody else, thank you so much for your supports and the super chats and the cash apps and the super thanks in videos like this, which you can see in your bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and join in on the conversation that we have, because we really do have very, very good back and forth conversations. Whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me, always good fun talking this boxing. So Jaron Boots Ennis will now be fighting a man by the name of Chukhadzhain, who is a Ukrainian fighter, ranked I do believe he's number 4 in the IBF. And this fight will be for the IBF interim title. Jaron Ennis, if you're not familiar with him, is out of Philadelphia. He's the number 1 rated fighter in the IBF. I do believe he's also in the top 3 or top 4 of every major sanctioning body. And he is the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence Jr.'s IBF championship belt. However, there was some delay in announcing his next fight for several reasons. One of them is because it took so long for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford's fight to fall through. And so the dates have now opened up, and a whole bunch of people are now getting their fight dates. But for a while, people did not know where Jaron Ennis would fall, because there were a lot of fighters, according to what's out there, that did not want to fight Jaron Ennis. But they found one in a guy, again, named Jaron Chukhadzhain out of the Ukraine. And now the big news about this, and I'll talk about the fight because I did watch Chukhadzhain fight, saw just a little bit of him, and I can already tell you, man, you better tighten up on that, or that's going to be a lot of problems. It'll be something I think is really good for Jaron, and I think for boxing in general, is that it'll be a co-main event with Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis, if you're not familiar, is one of the biggest names in boxing. He will be fighting in DC on January 7th against Hector Garcia, who is currently the WBA Super 130-pound champion, or the Super WBA 130-pound champion, a belt that was held by Gervonta Davis previously. But, you know, Gervonta Davis is a guy that sells a lot of tickets, big time pay-per-view guy. And this particular match with Jaron Ennis being on that card adds even more value to it, because Jaron is a name that is really buzzing in the boxing world, as far as being one of the guys that are going to be, you know, the next great fighters, you know, in the welterweight division, 154-pound division, maybe the 160-pound division. And getting him out there on that type of card with Gervonta Davis is really going to be good for him. It's good for his recognition. You know, as you guys know, Gervonta Davis sells out pretty much every arena that he's been in. This is going to be in a big arena in DC. I have to look up exactly to see what the name of the arena is, but I believe it's going to be one of the larger ones that's in DC. And I think I've heard that it takes as many as like 20,000 people in that particular arena. So to have all of those people, and if the stars come out like they usually do, big name boxing fans come out like they usually do, this would be a really, really good way to get Jaron Ennis introduced to the major, introduced to the boxing world in general, under that type of big lights type scenario. Not unsimilar to what happened with Gervonta Davis when Gervonta Davis did it, obviously on a much bigger scale when he fought on the pay-per-view with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Conor McGregor, and Gervonta Davis fought as the co-main event there against Francisco Fonseca. But, as far as like helping the place sell and getting people excited about it, Jaron Ennis is from Philadelphia. Gervonta Davis is from Baltimore, so not very, very far drives. Definitely a train type of commute that can take place, or in not too long of a drive for people to come down to DC for the fight. I do believe you can get from Philadelphia to DC fairly easy within a day, same day, and go home, maybe stay one night and go back to Philadelphia. So should do well for the sales, but really, really good in situation because then hopefully, because people like I like big fights just like everybody else, then Jaron can then be in a good position to get, maybe an Errol Spence Jr. fight, maybe a Terrence Crawford fight, something like that for the kid, not before, for the young man, don't want to call him a kid, before too long. Now, as far as the fight itself, saw a Chukhadzhain fight. This is more than likely going to be a knockout stoppage. I don't want to, may sound bad, but I looked at him fight for maybe a round. And he's a guy that likes to fight with his hands down, likes to use his quickness a little bit, an athletic guy, got kind of quick hands. Don't see him as a big power puncher. And if he is somebody that's going to spend a significant amount of time fighting Jaron Ennis with his hands down, more than likely he's going to get hit by something very, very big, very, very early, and he's not going to like that. Now, admittedly, I've not seen a ton of his fights, but that's kind of my estimation of it. Now, he himself, though, he's got one loss, I think, in like a 3-round fight in his second fight in the Ukraine. The second fight is a split decision. I think it was a split decision loss in his second or third fight against a guy in Ukraine. This will be, however, his first time fighting in the United States. He was fighting in Ukraine, and then he started having fights, stepped up and started fighting in fights in Germany. And so this will be the first time that he's actually over there to the United States. And it is going to be, a heck of a fight test for him to get out of the 8th round is going to be very, very tough, man, because Jaron Ennis is really, really like that, man. I know that's not the most technical breakdown in the world, but the guy can pretty much do everything. Very big, very fast, very big power. Defensively, very, very responsible, quick on his defense too, goes to the body, can fight in the southpaw stance, can fight in the orthodox stance, fight on the back foot. He can walk you down. Pretty much just everything that able to do that he can do. He can pretty much do everything. The question is, of course, that people have for Jaron Ennis is whether or not, his chin is going to be able to stand up to him getting hit by a big shot. From what I can see of Karen Chukhadzhain, I don't think that is going to be the problem that he's going to face in that circumstance, right? Seems to me that the guy is going to, he's just food in this particular circumstance. Not much different than Terrence Crawford fighting David Avenation, though. So anyway, I'll take the fight. I just want to be able to see him in action. Get a chance to be under the really big lights and have people have an opportunity to see him perform. You can pretty much, I suspect you could call this a showcase fight, and people will. And then non-believers that are familiar with him are going to still have something to say after the fight. But it is what it is. It's not like he's fighting Virgil Ortiz or Keith Thurman or Gervonta, or he's fighting a Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence, but got to fight, got to get in there, and I'm happy to see him back in there doing it. Anyway, so that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.